Why photosynthesis is like charging your phone, but way cooler. Okay, let's talk about something that's way more important than it seems at first. Photosynthesis. You might hear that word in science class and think, here we go again. But photosynthesis is more than just some random plant thing you need to memorize for a test. It's a process that literally keeps you and the entire planet alive. And get this, it's connected to some major stuff like climate change, coral reefs, and the very air you're breathing right now. Imagine plants as your phone's battery. You know that panic when your phone's at 5% and you don't have a charger? Imagine plants feel the same way, except instead of plugging into an outlet, they plug in to sunlight. Yep, plants use sunlight as their main energy source through photosynthesis, a process that keeps them alive, helps them grow, and gives you oxygen to breathe. But photosynthesis isn't just a boring plant thing, it's happening all around you. It's the reason we have food, oxygen, and why coral reefs, yeah, those beautiful ocean things, survive. Let's break down the process and get you to see why photosynthesis is the ultimate life hack. Breaking down photosynthesis, like charging your phone with solar power. Here's how it works. 1. Photosystem 2. Think of this as the plant's solar panel. It captures sunlight, just like when your phone lights up when plugged in. But instead of charging your phone, the sunlight is used to split water molecules inside the plant. This releases oxygen, the stuff you need to stay alive, and also generates energy for the plant to use. So every time you breathe in oxygen, you can thank photosystem 2. 2. After photosystem 2 does its thing, the plant still needs more energy to keep going. This is where photosystem 1 comes in. It's like the plant passing that energy along, kind of like sending streaks on Snapchat. This energy transfer helps the plant produce something called NADPH. You don't need to remember what that stands for. Just know it's like plant fuel, keeping everything running smoothly. 3. The Calvin cycle. This is the ultimate plant meal prep system. The energy the plant gathers from photosystems 1 and 2 gets used to turn CO2 from the air into sugar. Think of it like turning ingredients into a smoothie. The plant takes in CO2, mixes it with energy, and creates sugar, which it uses to grow and stay healthy. And just like you need food for energy, plants need that sugar to live. So, yeah, plants are out here catching sunlight, splitting water, and making food. All of this happens in specific parts of the plant, like chloroplasts, which are the plant's kitchens, and the thylakoid membranes inside those chloroplasts, where all the magic happens. These thylakoids are stacked up in structures called grana, basically the shelves where the plants keep their solar panels for catching light. Why should you care? Okay, I get it. You're probably thinking this is cool and all, but why should I care? Well, let me break it down in a way that hits home. You've probably heard of climate change and how it's messing with coral reefs. Coral reefs are super important for marine life, but they're also key players in protecting coastlines and even providing us with medicine. They're like the Wi-Fi hubs of the ocean. They connect everything. But reefs are dying off because the algae that live on them, algae that depend on photosynthesis, are struggling to survive. When photosynthesis gets disrupted due to pollution, rising sea temperatures, or chemicals, the algae can't produce energy and the coral bleaches and dies. No algae equals no coral equals no fish homes and more damage from storms. So when you hear about coral bleaching, what's really happening is that the algae inside the coral can't photosynthesize properly. Here's why. Certain chemicals like the herbicide paraquat or the algicide diuron block specific parts of photosynthesis. Paraquat stops photosystem 1 in its tracks, like when your phone's battery stops holding a charge. Without this, plants and algae can't produce the energy they need to stay alive. Diuron messes with photosystem 2, so the plant can't make oxygen or the energy it needs. It's like your phone being on 0% with no charger in sight. Finally, rising sea temperatures affect the Calvin cycle, preventing plants and algae from making sugar. Imagine if you tried making a smoothie, but your blender was broken. It's kind of like that. These disruptions lead to coral bleaching, and in the worst case scenario, the reefs die off. This isn't just a sad ocean thing. It's a huge problem for the entire planet. How everything's connected. If you're still with me, here's the cool part. Photosynthesis is connected to everything. It's not just about plants making their own food, it's about the oxygen you breathe, the food you eat, and the ecosystems that keep our planet healthy. Even the things that seem far away, like coral reefs, are directly linked to how plants and algae process sunlight. And it's not just plants that need photosynthesis, your body depends on it too. Cell respiration, the process your cells use to get energy from food, is directly connected to photosynthesis. Basically, the food you eat, which ultimately comes from plants, gets broken down in your cells to give you energy. It's like a constant cycle. Plants make the food, you eat the food, your cells use it to power you up, and then the process starts all over again. Final thoughts. Why photosynthesis is actually pretty awesome. So, what's the takeaway? Photosynthesis is way more than just a plant thing. It's the process that powers life on Earth. Without it, we wouldn't have oxygen to breathe, food to eat, or ecosystems to keep everything in balance. Next time you're sitting in class thinking, why does this matter to me? Just remember, photosynthesis is keeping you and everything around you alive. It's like the planet's biggest and most important battery, charging everything up and keeping things running smoothly. So, give a little nod of respect to those plants and coral reefs. They're doing a lot more than just sitting there. They're literally saving the world. And if that's not cool, I don't know what is.